We call it the mighty Himalayas, but the climate change has made it frail. Extreme weather patterns are occurring in the Himalayas with alarming frequency affecting environment and people. Scientists are attributing the surge in these extreme weather patterns to a warming Himalaya and a warm climate, which is increasing atmospheric moisture and changing weather patterns driven by larger global climate change. Official data shows that 36 cloudbursts have been recorded across Jammu and Kashmir since June 1st, making it one of the most active seasons for highly localized extreme rainfall in recent years. The cloudbursts have triggered flash floods, landslides, and mudslides, damaging homes, roads, bridges, and agricultural land. When it comes to glaciers, a recent study by researchers from the Indian Institute of Technology in Indore found that although long-term warming remains the primary driver of glacier retreat across Himalayas, brief but extreme weather events are increasingly influencing glaciers' melting rate. Long-term observations continue to show glaciers steadily losing mass. These extreme weather patterns are affecting J&K, Himachal, and Uttarakhand and could have a broader effect on India's weather system. The big question is, how are we prepared to tackle long-term change in climate, and especially in Himalayas? On this issue, I'm joined by Raghu Murtugudde, climate scientist. Raghu, thank you so much for joining me. Let me just straight away come to you. Himalayas are young, they are vulnerable. These extreme events, what are they telling us?
So Himalaya is not a monolithic thing. If you go from Brahmaputra to Indus, it's only about 2,500 kilometers, but it's an incredibly inhomogeneous extent. Northwest is behaving differently. If you go from east to west, you have Pacific influence, monsoon influence from the east to the central Himalayas. The northwest is typically more about western disturbances, Atlantic influences, and winter precipitation. But more recently, the warming over Europe and the Middle East, West Asia has been swinging the winds over the Arabian Sea in such a way that the warm Arabian Sea is pumping much more moisture into northwest India and from Uttarakhand to J&K, as you said. And you have to also remember the orography is incredibly complicated. There are lots of valleys and so on that can actually amplify the flow. And when the flow gets amplified and the vertical motions accelerate, that's when you get cloud bursts. But we have to be careful because we are not always having a proper data to say whether it was actually a cloudburst or not. But nonetheless, when heavy rains happen and landslides happen and rivers flow like mud water, then the damage and loss of lives is really serious. So we have to really focus on these details and how external global factors are being amplified by local land use types and so on. So it's all coming together in a very bad way.
Is there any way we can have some sort of a mitigating effect? Is it something to do with too much of humidity in Himalayas or too many people around? Is something changing locally? Are we missing woods for the trees, sir?
What is actually amplified is locally amplified by land use change. So moisture is coming all the way from the Arabian Sea, as I said, and some of it from the Bay of Bengal. But the land use and the settlements that we have been building over literally decades to centuries, we are not used to these amounts of rain. So that's why I call them global factors. We don't have very direct control on them. So when you think about mitigating the risks, there are two timescales. One is the crisis management timescales, where early warnings for 1 day to few days, they are getting better because of all the investments India has made. So we have to take those seriously and make decisions on moving people and moving them out of harm's way. And the second time scale that we have to really build on is the so-called decadal time scale, where we have to build resilience. Beyond crisis management, unless we start changing the land use types and move people, if necessary, out of harm's way and build resilient infrastructure and build them carefully, because when we build roads and bridges and buildings, etc., actually the mountain slopes can get loosened as well, and heavy rain will only convert it into landslides. So we have to focus on these two time scales very critically.
So it's the increase in urbanization, the rise in population and too much of human activity, that is also adding to these extreme weather events?
Absolutely, and deforestation in addition. So we are losing some of the vegetation. So it's, we are used to living there. It's beautiful setting, and we are not expecting rapid changes, but rapid changes are already here. It's not like climate change is in the future. The future is already here. So we have to really respond quickly and urgently and make risk maps literally at kilometer scale. You cannot move everybody out of the way, and you cannot really stop development and economic growth, etc. So we need really reliable risk maps which are doable. So we have to combine the risk maps with early warnings and mitigation and resilience building. Building back better is not just a statement, it's not a cliche. Now is the time when damages happen, we must build back better.